this amount, the balance of $88,000, that's to pay off the actual loader that we were going to trade in when we purchased this vehicle, correct?
Madam Chair, that is correct. When CAT financing, when the trade-in occurred, they did not see the roughly $90,000 balance. So when we actually went to do the trade-in, they said there's a balloon payment due of $90,000. So that, after the evaluation, that is the 3 years of payments of $16,345, and the final payment would be the balance of the $39,760.
Madam Chair. So I started my line of questioning on item 18. My interest is procedurally how we do this going forward. I mean, we are where we are. We can't undo April. But I'd like to, whether it be through our purchasing director, whether it be through budget and finance, have a more formal process in place so that when the city decides to sell or trade in an asset, we're doing some research. What's it worth? What's owed on it? I want to make sure that this doesn't happen. This is kind of a wacky thing because even if we missed it, you think CAP would pick up on it. So I think there's a series of things that occurred to allow this to occur. But the other half of it is making sure we're getting a good bang for our buck when we're trading a piece of equipment in. So I don't know if anyone can speak to the policy or procedure that we have or the potential for working on one so that the next time we go to sell a car, a truck, a bus, a tractor, whatever it is, that there's a formal process. And I think things like this would be vetted out if we've got an actual process that somebody in some department will have to follow on a regular basis, and that information will come to council. I can't speak for all of my colleagues, but I speak for myself. I believe we were getting a new piece of equipment and 12 grand in hand, and now I'm being asked to spend $100,000. So I would just like to learn from our mistakes and have a policy in place to do this better going forward.
Madam Chair and Councilman, that is typically the process. They get bundled in, and the RFP goes out with a request for trade-in. Again, there's a series of mistakes that happen in this particular one, including Michigan or CAT financing reporting that there was no debt due to this on this particular piece of equipment. At the end of the day, what we did was evaluated the need for the piece of equipment, because if we didn't need it, couldn't use it, then it didn't make sense to attempt to retain it. And I think based on the DPW's evaluation of this particular piece of equipment, I think I'm reading just a couple of the notes in the email. A lot of this is done to do the ditch maintenance work, and it is an isolated piece of equipment, and I don't believe that there's another one that we have. So I believe they feel that they need it. But point well taken, and again, we attempt to learn from all the mistakes.
Madam Chair, and my recommendation is just to solicit purchasing and budget and finance. To me, it's as much a financial transaction as it is equipment, and the equipment guys can handle the equipment side of it, but our finance guys can handle the finance side of it and go through that process. We keep each other out of trouble, and we'll do a better job next time. Just my recommendation.
Again, my name is Brenda Lakeland, 7439 Beach Daily. I'd like to know this equipment you're talking about. How old is it that we're trading in that needs to be changed so rapidly? And on the second piece of equipment you're talking about, on the excavator, if we still owe $90,000 on it, and Cat said there was no debt due on it, why did we not back out of that deal and go out for pricing? And if this equipment is breaking down so rapidly that we have to keep changing it, maybe we should look into renting if this equipment isn't used that often. Maybe we could go to a leasing company, Hall Brothers, or somebody like that can rent something out depending on how often this equipment is used. If they gave us the wrong figure Either we needed to back out of that deal, or they needed to adjust it.
Madam Chair, I don't know that I want to speak on behalf of the entire transaction because I wasn't party to it, but my understanding is that this was a lease. It wasn't a purchase and it wasn't a matter of it breaking down. It was a matter of having a 5-year lease. The lease was due and you're either going to, this amount was a balloon owed, so you're either going to pay the balloon and take possession or you're going to move on to a new piece of equipment. And we decided to move on to a new piece of equipment. So it was a lease and it wasn't because it was broken down. But again, I'm going to try not to speak too much to the equipment because I don't know anything about it.
Madam Chair, that is correct.
I just think that we're spending a lot of money for maybe when somebody's not paying attention, and I'm sorry, but that's my money. I have to go to work every day for that money,
That's
and I expect you to use it wisely, and it doesn't sound like you are.
Madam Chair,
Unfortunately, I apologize, but that's just the truth.
Madam Chair, just like Councilman Johnson, we all live in this city. And I know when we ran, at least I did, I'm here to protect the residents. And I'm not going to spend your money, my money, in any way, shape, or form if I don't think it's good for you and everybody else in this room. So, I mean, I understand your concern, but you're coming, you're only hearing part of the process. This
Right.
is something that we dealt. And we go in on Mondays and we hash it out and do that. And we weigh options because we did consider, do we buy new or do we, and we look at what's the best value for the residents. And then we make our decisions on that when we vote up here.
Well, how could, as you spoke, how can someone not know we owe $90,000?
Madam Chair,
Like I
I
said,
totally agree, and
I
that's
agree.
what's got me a little frustrated. But I am also, there are mistakes made from time to time. And what Councilman Lazura said is, hey, let's put something in place to make sure this doesn't happen again. Because it doesn't make us look good when we voted to approve something in April, and we were voting on $102,000, and then they come back and say, hey, we need another $90,000. I'm not a happy camper about that. But unfortunately, there are mistakes from time to time, and we work through those, and we do everything in our power, and I can't speak on it because we're just, council people, but for the most part, I think everybody in the city really tries and strives for excellence, but there is a time or two where there's mistakes made, and I agree.
It's a very big mistake. I would be fired for that mistake.
Madam Chair, but the mistake was, Michigan, or I keep saying Michigan Cat, that's the dealer. Cat Financing is, they reported no lien tied to the title and that there was a zero debt. So that is where the mistake originated. So
Our county should have known there was a bad sign. We should have. Thank you.
Madam Chair, I think I'm the one asking a lot of questions. I'm the one asking to improve the process, but, in terms of using the money wisely, this is a piece of equipment that we want and need, so, the mistake that was made in April doesn't change the fact that it is a useful piece of equipment, that the equipment is used to service residents, and I'm going to vote in favor of that. I just needed to take this opportunity based on how we got to where we are today to say the process has got to get better, but in terms of my ability to spend your taxpayer dollars wisely, I pay them too. And I was upset with it. I asked the same questions. Different parties making different mistakes, but it's still a wise purchase in that it's a useful piece of equipment that we're using to maintain and improve our city, and because of that, I'm willing to move forward with it.
To the chair, I agree with Councilman Mazur as far as this is a piece of equipment to my knowledge that we use very often. And yes, but I disagree in the fact that I do believe that we have our purchasing guidelines and policies in place, and it does appear to me that there was a breakdown in that system. I will be voting no on this because of that, because I think we do have things in place and that there was a breakdown. I'm not going to point fingers, we don't need to do that, but I think it was a wise choice.
Madam Chair, Jason, to our CFO, do you recall this item that we're discussing, was this part of the package that was placed on Mitten?
Like I said, at this point, I don't recall if it was placed on it or not.
Because it was part of the bigger
I
package.
believe it was done through the mic, or similar to the previous agenda.
So just a cooperative, just not Mitten.
That's correct.
Mr. Garza?
No.
Ms. Roberts?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Becerra?
Yes.